Toyota will not build an electric Tundra until electric vehicle infrastructure drastically improves, writes a report from Carbuzz saying the automaker still sees a lot of problems with diving headlong into electrifications. Welcome back, dear friends. This is Armen Aryan from TorqueNews.com. If you are here first time, please subscribe to our channel for daily electric vehicle news. Roger Bierman has a very interesting coverage on Carbuzz that I want to share with you. He says, if you have been holding out for a Toyota Tacoma EV or Tundra EV, you may be in for a long wait. He says, we spoke with Mike Sweers, Executive Chief Engineer for the Toyota Tundra, Sequoia, Tacoma, and 4Runner vehicle programs at Toyota Motor North America, and asked whether Toyota has any desire to follow Ford and Chevrolet into the full-size electric pickup truck segment. The short answer is that Toyota does not want to dive head first into the segment if it cannot do the truck justice. The long answer is a bit more complex than that. And after discussing everything from the next generation Tacoma, how the brand sees the 4Runner taking the fight to the Ford Bronco, we discovered that the future of Toyota's approach to electrification is a fascinating one. So, what do you think, friends? So he says a varied approach is going to be toward electrification from Toyota, while Sweers admits he cannot confirm future products. He did talk about the 15 electric Toyota concepts that we saw in 2021, one of which was an electric pickup that looked similar in size to the current Tacoma. Akio Toyoda mentioned in that rollout of the concept that the entire Toyota fleet will be electrified in the next 5 years. Sweers tells us, in the next 5 years, entire Toyota fleet will be electrified. But that doesn't mean the brand is committing to electric vehicle wholesale. We are taking a balanced approach to electrification, he says. Whether it's plug-in hybrid electric vehicles or battery electric vehicles, fuel cell, traditional hybrid series, or parallel systems, we're taking a balanced approach. There isn't one offering that meets every customer's needs, he said. That's an important distinction to make, as with all the fanfare and rushed legislation changes forcing a shift to electrification, it seems some manufacturers have been quick to dismiss the needs of the customers who buy and use these vehicles. By retaining a variety of options and powertrain solutions, Toyota should be able to make the necessary shifts as each sector requires them. Sweers admits there are several hurdles to widespread electric vehicle adoptions for car makers. He says, as we look to the future, the biggest hurdle we have is infrastructure. Speaking of a recent benchmarking drive where Toyota engineers drove the Hummer EV, a Ford F-150 Lightning, and an unnamed Tesla model, it wasn't a Cybertruck. Sweers says they wanted to evaluate the performance of these battery electric vehicles. He says a battery electric vehicle's motor generator is like an on-off switch, so it's fun at first. But can you tow with it? And how far can you tow between recharges? And can you find a recharging station? Can you haul with it? These are important questions, right? He says these are all valid trains and thoughts, and he summarizes them all with one question. Can you do what a truck customer's requests are? Because most of these trucks are bought by construction companies. In agriculture, they involve a lot of towing, a lot of hauling. How much can you do with that? I would like to hear what other electric car makers answer to these questions. Toyota's current crop of pickup and truck-based SUV drivers are an adventurous sort. The type that will take their vehicles to the Moab for a spate of off-roading. In that situation, there's going to be range anxiety on that vehicle, says Sweers. With a gasoline or diesel pickup truck, Sweers tells us he owns a diesel Land Cruiser 70 HE brought back from Japan and a new Tundra. You can carry an extra 10 gallons of fuel, so if you get stuck somewhere, you have a reserve to get you somewhere you can fill up properly. But with an electric vehicle, what do you do? When you run out of batteries, it's not like you pull out a pack of AAs and switch batteries out and continue moving on. There are all these types of questions, and that I think need to be answered, that are different than the urban setting battery electric vehicles that you're running back and forth to work and you plug in a new house at night. That's the big differentiator between regular electric vehicles and electric trucks for Sweers and his team. I try never to knock my competitors' products. They have some cool offerings in their battery electric vehicle trucks. The only question is, am I willing to use it in the way it was designed? Now, Toyota won't build a product that fails customers' expectations. First and foremost, for Sweers and Toyota, when the question of an electric pickup comes up, is it meeting what the truck customers' demands are? Getting to the point of future powertrain offerings, something we touched on in our discussion about the choice to go turbocharged and hybrid on the Tundra, Sweers says it's all about customer demand, customer needs, and customer satisfaction. I can offer them a lot of things. I have a lot in our portfolio that I could throw in our vehicles and do some cool stuff. But if a customer buys it and they are disappointed with the range, disappointed with power offering, that's bad news for the company. Electric vehicles and hybrids are typically purchased by people who care for fuel economy. But Sweers says most fuel-sized truck buyers don't prioritize this. They all put up with less gas mileage, but they won't put up with less power that they were expecting or less capability than they were expecting. Sweers says that as a chief engineer, that's my job. Are we exceeding the customer's expectations? Whether it's quality, durability, reliability, fuel economy, or cost of ownership. Now, what needs to change, friends? So what needs to change? What hurdles need to be overcome by the automaker industry at large to make a full-size electric vehicle viable enough for Toyota to pursue an all-electric Tundra? Sweers has one word for us: infrastructure. He says, right now, we have the Wild West out there. Sweers says, saying that until the aforementioned benchmarking test, he didn't understand the full extent of it. Tesla's gone its own way, and it's great until you have to charge your Tesla at a different supplier, highlights Sweers. We have different connections. We have different safety features. We have different charging rates. We have different ways to get into the charging stations. Just finding a charging station that actually works is a difficult situation. It's kind of true, friends. If you have not had an electric car, if you think that you can go to any charger and charge your cars, that's not true. If you go to a slow charger, then your car will charge only 3 to 5 or 15 miles maximum in 1 hour. But if you find a fast charger, then it will fast faster. This sort of experience is not unlike what Carbuzz test drivers have experienced on multiple occasions. It highlights the fact that if we are to change to an electric society, we need to standardize the infrastructures. I agree with this. It would be good if the government comes up with some laws that can standardize the infrastructure for charging electric vehicles. Gas stations don't all have different pump nozzles, right? So why are electric vehicle charging stations all so different from one another and in terms of speed of charging? There is another issue with the current infrastructure, and that's safety. Part of the problem with battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles is that the safety system for charging is put on the electric car makers, on the OEM, not on the power suppliers, says Sweers. Whereas whether it's gasoline or diesel, the safety requirements for refueling are set on the fuel supply, right? OEMs bear the brunt of trying to bridge all these different charging solutions with the safety, overload, and heat safety requirements in their vehicle. He doesn't mention it by name, but says that there was one company out there that had a problem with overheating at the connector, and they are burning vehicles up, and they are burning the connectors on the vehicles, and that's an expensive repair on the vehicle side. He didn't mention the name, but I think we should know about this, so people know what to buy and what not to buy. Sweers firmly believes that the energy providers need to take more responsibility for their own infrastructure, and that they need to work together to standardize infrastructure before electric vehicles can become widely used. I think they're already widely used. So he ends with a succinct but very relevant point. He says, battery electric vehicles have a place in this world, but I also think gas internal combustion engine vehicles also has a place in this world. I think these are very valid points. What do you think, friends? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Armen Harayan from TorqueNews.com. Please subscribe to our channel for daily electric vehicle Tesla news coverage. Ring the bell so you don't miss my next story. God bless you, everyone. Peace be with all of you, and I'll see you soon in our next report. And please give us thumbs up, like this video if you found this information helpful, and I'll bring you more stories. Have a great day.